In this video, I challenge myself to beat Terraria, but every recipe is randomized. So, will I be able to beat the Moonlord, or will I be so unlucky that I can't even craft anything? And these will be the mods that I'll be using for ease. Hope you enjoyed the video. And one thing, I can't exit the game because that will once again randomize the crafting recipe. So after chopping some trees, I opened my inventory to see I was able to craft beetle cell using wood, which is really good as it has 32 defense. Then I mined some pumpkin and crafted a gem hook using the pumpkin. Then I collected some gels which were kinda useless. Then I mined a lot of trees. After that I headed to the right side in the desert and found some cactus, with which grape juice could be crafted. So I mined some more cactus. And it seems I need better weapons because I do 1 damage to some enemies. Then I found my first chest which had blowpipe and some healing potion. On my next chest I found an umbrella which would be really useful as it negates fall damage. After that I found my first accessory. Then I mined some rich mahogany tree. And as I was running away, I died. I wondered how many times will I die in this playthrough. With all the loots I had obtained, I crafted an iron bow which I ended up never using. Then I went to the left side and found some even wood, which can be used to craft nothing. Amazing! After that I went inside the corruption and blew one shadow orb which gave me a musket, which is actually really good. With that the arms dealer can spawn now. Once again I went to the jungle and collected some more loot. As it was getting late, I was sent to home by the piranha. Thank you piranha. After that I went to the ocean to collect some palm wood. Then I went inside the ocean just to drown myself to death. After that I went to the snow biome and collected some wood, with which I was able to craft a pain necklace. Then I went to the underground snow biome and collected my first life crystal, which I will need a lot of to max out my health. Then in an underground cabin I found an ice plate which will be my main weapon for now. Then I crafted a pumpkin helmet using snow and also tiger climbing gear. In the next chest I found another accessory. After that I mined a lot of ores and almost died due to drowning. Then I found another life crystal and a summon for Eye of Cthulhu in the next chest. At least now I can do some amount of damage to enemies. Then I went to the dungeon and collected some loot from chest and pots. After that I went further left and realized that in this world there isn't a single living tree, which I really needed, because inside of a living tree there can be living loom which can help me craft various things. So this playthrough is going to be a lot more difficult now because there isn't a single living tree. And I also died to a shark. Then I killed the shark to collect my coins. After that I found a water walking boots in the chest deep inside the ocean. And with all the items I had obtained, I was still unable to craft anything remotely useful. Then I dug below the sand biome where I found the golf NPC. After that I mined some ore and almost died due to some enemies. Then I died again, then collected some more loots and finally found a bass statue and then died. After that I finally obtained a Hermes boots, which is what I was searching for, and then I died. In the crafting menu I was able to craft a simmer bucket, which is going to be quite useful. Then I went into underground jungle and opened some chests which had kind of useful items, then died. Then I finally obtained a magic mirror so I don't have to use recall potions now, then died. After that I found an extractinator and a flare gun, another Hermes boots, life crystal, another flare gun. I don't need a flare gun. Then the game wanted me to go home. After that I filled a hole with simmer and threw a life crystal to obtain a vital crystal, which increases my health regeneration. Then I finally upgraded my weapons to a war axe. Then I crafted Drax using one lead, so I won't have to upgrade my axe or pickaxe anymore. I also crafted a spooky helmet and used the extractinator to obtain some gems and ores. Then I organized my inventory in my beautiful base. Then as it turned night, I summoned the Eye of Cthulhu. The fight ended up being quite easy because I wasn't taking any damage and the war axe was doing quite decent damage. The fight ended up taking a while, but I finally defeated the Eye of Cthulhu. With that, I got one of the best accessories in the game, Shield of Cthulhu, from its bag. Then I started to dig a elevator to go to hell. I also collected some hot crystals and some loot while I was making an elevator. Then with glowing mushroom, I was finally able to craft flame wings, which is going to be really helpful. Then I also crafted the frost leggings for more defense. And with some more looting, I was feeling kind of lucky. That is, until I died. Still, I wasn't able to craft anything with everything I had obtained. Then I accidentally stepped on a pressure plate and died. With this, my elevator is finally complete. So I want one thing from hell, that is hell force, which I obviously missed right from the start. Then I had found the obsidian workbench, which I didn't know even existed in hell. If I had knew about this, I would have come straight to hell instead of wasting my 2 hours on the surface. At least now I can craft some things. Then I collected a hellforge and headed to my base and placed down the workbench. And finally I was able to craft a good weapon. With the workbench I can finally craft so many items to upgrade my gear. So I crafted some potions and also a vortex beater, which is one of the best endgame weapon. Then I crafted a bat wings and a strumite legging. But with the ores, I wasn't able to craft anything useful. Then I finally started to cover up my base as I was getting tired of being constantly attacked by enemies. Then I crafted a beetle helmet and a mechanical eye, which is what I really wanted, as even the summon for bosses have their crafting recipe changed. Then I summoned the skeleton in the dungeon The fight was quite easy because I had hard mode weapons and armor against a pre-hard mode boss, but still it took a lot of time. Then I defeated it. After that I went inside the dungeon and opened some chests and also obtained a bewitching table. Then with more useless loot, I finally went home and started to make some houses for NPCs to move in. I won't be making a lot of houses for NPC because I don't need any NPC except for one. And if you didn't know, if you place a torch in a floating island, then it will be a suitable place for NPC, so you can place the NPC you don't need stranded in a floating island, which I did thrice because I'm not building houses for NPC. Then I finally completed my houses. I also went to hell to obtain a voodoo doll from Voodoo Demon. Then the NPC finally moved in, and from the arms dealer I purchased a lot of bullets, like a lot of it, with which I was ready to face Wall of Flesh and hard mode. So I tried to summon the Wall of Flesh but died, this time prepared to face Wall of Flesh. So I summoned Wall of Flesh, and the fight was quite easy. I just had to run and shoot. So I defeated the Wall of Flesh, which meant it was time for hard mode. After that, I opened the Wall of Flesh treasure bag and used the demon heart to increase my accessory slot. Then I transmuted the sorcerer emblem to ranger emblem. After that, I destroyed the altars and crafted an item which I didn't know existed, which gave me a free minecart. Then I went underground to mine hard mode ores, and it was here I realized that I won't be able to craft any hard mode items because I can't craft hard mode anvil because the recipes are randomized, which meant that I will have to use most of what I have till endgame. So now I was dreading to continue the playthrough. After that I went home and crafted a bundle of balloon, which is going to be really useful. Then I thought maybe I can defeat the mechanical eye because this was the only boss I was able to fight currently, so I died. Then I went underground just to die again. I started to collect everything randomly because I needed to craft summons for bosses to progress in this game, but it seems the game doesn't want me to. Then I thought maybe I can defeat the twins now, so I summoned them. This time I had a plan. I will hit them when I have a lot of health and run away till I can get my health to full, which ended up being the strategy I needed because with it I was able to actually not die. I did come close to dying a lot, but I ended up defeating the twins. Then I started to dig underground in snow biome, where I obtained an amarok. Then I saw that I was able to craft hard mode anvil with purple ice, which was what I really needed, because now I can craft more items to upgrade some of my weapons. And I also crafted the celestial stone, but I still died. Then I saw that I was able to craft a lot of new items. Then the goblins decided it was a perfect time to attack. After that I started to kill all the goblins and finally defeated the goblin army. Then I finally upgraded my bullets to silver bullets from the arms dealer. I also found the goblin tinkerer underground and purchased the rocket boots and tinkerer workshop from him. Then I collected some accessories to merge, but realized that I can't upgrade my accessories because even the recipe for them were randomized. So instead I reforged all my accessories and weapons. Then I started to collect anything I can in hopes to be able to craft anything better. Then died. Then died again. Then collected some more items, like a lot of them. Then summoned the queen slime, because every enemy in hard mode has 0.4% chance to drop the make boss summons, which I really needed to progress in the game, but I ended up defeating the boss and obtained the usual items instead of the boss summons. Then I did a lot of things and also checked to see if the traveling merchant will sell anything. Then also collected some bricks and walls from the dungeon. Then I crafted some glass with the dungeon brick because at this point I just needed anything, but luckily I was able to craft the Stardust Dragon Staff, which is one of the best summon in the game. Now I can at least do decent damage to the enemies. Then I sold a lot of items and reforged my Stardust Dragon Staff. Then I left the game for 2 hours and saw that a blood moon had occurred and my Stardust Dragon had killed all the enemies, but I still got nothing from the drops. So this time I decided to wait 4 hours to see if I can get any boss summons from the enemies, but I still got nothing. Then the pirates invasion occurred. My Stardust Dragon was able to easily defeat any enemies, and then I finally came back and defeated the pirates. Then I had obtained a lot of loot from the enemies, and finally the enemies had dropped one boss summon for Skeleton Prime. After all that, which gave me a little bit of hope that this playthrough can be actually done. Then I found the wizard underground. I also had found a loom underground, which maybe can help me be able to craft the final mech boss. Then I grabbed some buff and started the fight with Skeleton Prime, which was quite easy because I was doing well over 170 damage with single bullet, and my Stardust Dragon was also doing damage quite a bit. And yeah, I finally beat the Skeleton Prime, which meant I had one boss left to defeat, and I don't know how to obtain the summon for it, and also the boss isn't spawning naturally. So I started to craft anything randomly, because if I can't craft the final boss summon, then I will have to restart this playthrough from the start with a different recipe, which I obviously don't want to. Then after obtaining a lot of random items, I was able to craft sawmill with boreal wood. So I placed it down and saw that I was able to craft a lot of new things. So I crafted a true Excalibur and summoning potion. Then one of the luckiest thing happened to me. I was able to craft the final mech summon, which meant I can finally progress in this game. And thank God I don't have to redo this playthrough. So I collected some buff and slept till night time. Then summoned the destroyer and absolutely destroyed him because of all the stress I had accumulated to this point. And yeah, Now it is time for Plantera. So I found a Plantera's bulb and accidentally destroyed it and summoned the Plantera, which I was obviously not prepared for, so I died. Then I started to collect a lot of life fruits, like a lot of them, for a lot of time. Then I threw one life fruit in Simmer to get Aegis fruit, which increases my defense by 4 permanently. After that I maxed out my health to 500. Then slept for a while for the bulb to once again spawn. Then I summoned the Plantera and died once again. Then once again I summoned the Plantera in a much spacious space, and this time I was able to take away its health properly. Then it was time for second phase, and with a lot of hit and run, I was able to beat Plantera. Then I was killed by a spider. What? So I reforged my accessory one last time. Then I headed to the jungle temple, which had so much trap that almost killed me, but I reached the altar and made some platform. Then summoned the golem. And this fight ended up being one of the easiest fights in the game, which made me defeat the boss 3 times without me ever dying. Then I collected some lizard bricks, then went home and crafted some flask of poison. Then I slept for a while for the cultist to spawn. Then went to the dungeon to kill the cultist follower. Then the cultist spawned. The fight was quite straightforward. I just had to shoot this tiny hitbox of boss who can teleport anywhere, but the fight was quite easy because I just had to shoot the correct cultist to make my life easier. I wish I did that in my other playthrough. So I defeated the cultist, which meant it was time for everyone's favorite event in the game. Yay! So I went to the Stardust pillar first because it was near me, which was going quite well until it didn't. Then I went to the solar pillar because the pillar was closest to my base. So I killed some enemies, then died again. Then I finally defeated the solar pillar. So I went back to get my revenge on the Stardust pillar just to be killed again. So I died again, then you wouldn't guess what happened. I died. And yes, I wasn't able to craft anything useful from the solar fragments. Then I went to the Nebula pillar just to die, then die again while the game was making fun of me, died once again, then finally died with an Among Us sound effect. And finally it was time for the last pillar, the Vortex pillar. So I died, tried to kill enemies but died instead, then died once again, then died again, then I finally defeated all the pillars, which meant only Moonlord was left. So I collected all the buffs I needed and the Moonlord spawned. And my plan was simple. If my health gets to the half point, I will run away and heal to max health, then I will attack. And if I don't defeat Moonlord this time, I will have to do the pillars and cultist once again. So I didn't want it to die this last fight. But after a while, I destroyed both of an eye and one eye in the hand. Then finally the last eye. Now with a lot of running and gunning, I finally defeated the Moonlord. With this, the playthrough is finally over. I thought that this challenge would be the easiest, but instead this challenge ended up being one of the hardest I have ever done. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos and watch these videos for more Terraria challenges.